With all these new iPads coming out, I definitely had some FOMO, so I asked my wife if I could borrow her iPad Air 4 for a couple weeks, and she hesitantly said yes. This iPad Air is special. It was the first non-Pro iPad to carry this new flat iPad design with USB-C, Apple Pencil 2, and Magic Keyboard support. On top of all that, the price was and still looks to be very reasonable compared to the rest of the iPad market, especially when next to the new base iPad 10 and the iPad Air 5 with M1. Even with 2023 just around the corner, I think this is low-key the best iPad deal out there. When you find it new on eBay, you can find it for the same price or less than the new base iPad 10. Plus, save for the iPad Air 5's M1 processor is essentially the same product, but you can find the 4th gen for about $150 to $200 cheaper. So that's pretty interesting, and if you're in the market for a new tablet, stay and watch the rest of this video. By the way, if you're wondering what case this is a Tomahawk Smartfolio vertical case, our lovely sponsor for this video. The case itself is made of PU leather and has a slim, minimal design so it doesn't add bulk to your iPad. Of course, it supports auto wake and sleep, has a protective flap for the pencil, and the built-in magnets allows for a ton of flexibility. True to its name, this Smartfolio case can access 4 different modes. First, and my favorite, is a super accessible portrait mode, letting you vertically stand your iPad at a 69-degree angle. Perfect for browsing, reading books, reviewing documents, and FaceTime. There's also landscape mode, which is totally flexible and isn't limited to set angles, perfect for watching YouTube and other video content. Then there's sketch mode, which gives you the perfect angle to take notes or do some creative work with your Apple Pencil. And finally, there's a magnetic back panel single-use mode, which lets you use your iPad however you want while protecting the back from scratches and dents. Don't have this iPad Air? Well, don't worry. Not only is this case compatible with this last gen iPad Air, but it's also compatible with the newest 2022 iPad Air, as well as the Pro series all the way from the 2018 version to the latest 2022 iPad Pro. It's all totally magnetic and detachable too, so it's super easy to install and uninstall. I really love this thing, and if you're interested in the Tomahawk Smartfolio case, click the link below and buy it now for your iPad. Let's start with the design, which is still gorgeous, especially the sky blue color. I mean, considering how other iPads look and how Samsung and Microsoft's tablets look these days, there's nothing about this iPad that truly stands out. But the point is that this tablet from 2020 still looks like a new iPad that I bought yesterday, so it's aged very well in terms of looks and build quality. It's not lacking in features either, even when compared to the Pro series. It supports Apple Pencil 2, which easily snaps on and charges on the side here. It also supports the Pro series compatible Magic Keyboard, so you can get a more laptop-like experience. And with this USB-C port, you can easily plug in, use accessories, and move around files. The one thing this does lack is Face ID, but it does have Touch ID placed on the power button, which is still fast and very convenient. The iPad Air 4 has a 10.9-inch Liquid Retina display with a 2360 by 1640 resolution. Unlike the 10th gen base iPad, this iPad Air 4 has a fully laminated display, so the touchscreen looks and feels as premium as a Pro series. This display still looks fantastic in terms of sharpness, colors, and brightness as well, getting up to 500 nits. I even have this matte screen protector on, but I still don't have any complaints about the brightness. And by the way, having a matte screen protector is so nice for the iPad, especially for writing and drawing. The only thing that might be missing is that this only has a 60Hz refresh rate. This might be a bit of a deal breaker for artists that need that one-to-one responsiveness with the Apple Pencil, but because iPadOS has such smooth animations, and this is a fully laminated display, and Apple's latest and greatest pen still works on here, the 60Hz refresh rate is really a non-issue for me. The iPad Air 4 also has its excellent stereo speakers. It may look like it, but these are not 4 speakers. Only 2 of these work as actual speakers, and the other 2 are just for sound resonance. Still, they get very loud, and the audio quality honestly sounds better than a MacBook Air or Pro 13, so I have no problems with these either. Briefly touching on the cameras, I keep forgetting that iPads have rear cameras, and this does too. It's a single 12 megapixel camera that can take up to 4K 60 FPS videos. I don't know why Apple does so much for their iPad rear cameras, but yeah, these are awesome, and it's great if you're a student that needs to take a picture of the blackboard when taking notes. But more interestingly, there's a 7 megapixel front facing camera that can do up to 1080p 60 FPS video recording. So this camera is excellent for video conferencing, and it's going to be better than like 99% of laptops out there. The only downside is the placement is a little weird, so I can easily block it with my finger, and I have to put my face here to center it. This is how it is when my face is centered towards the iPad, and I have to kind of center my face towards the camera to be in the middle. So
Kind of awkward.
This issue has been solved on the new base iPad, and it's really the only thing that the regular iPad has over this 4th gen iPad Air. Inside, the iPad Air 4 has a still very respectable A14 Bionic chip, so it's the exact same chip that's in the brand new base iPad. As you can expect from an iPad that's only 2 years old, this thing still flies in all terms: browsing, launching and switching apps, app staying in memory, high-end iPad games, photo and video editing, and smooth split screen and slide over multitasking. While multitasking performance is not an issue here, even with iPad OS 16, I still don't think the multitasking UX is a great experience here. Split screen and slide over are fine, but it does feel slow and requires a lot of steps. There is Apple's new multi-window stage manager feature, but it's not available on this 4th gen iPad Air for mysterious Apple reasons. If you do want to make this iPad Air your full-time laptop, I don't think you'll have any issues with the performance. It's just that the software doesn't feel too intuitive for someone like me who multitasks a lot with a bunch of windows open at the same time. When my wife and I did have the Magic Keyboard at home, it was a little better, but all in all, not for me, but could be for you if iPad OS fits your use cases. Also, the base 64 gig storage option sucks if you want to do any photo and video editing, but if you're more project to project with it, it could work because the experience is awesome with the A14 Bionic. Import times are fast and the photo editing apps have such a fluid UI when playing around with the photos. Honestly, feels better than photo editing on any laptop. So the video editing options are a little more limited, even though we do have DaVinci Resolve coming real soon. But in general, with how TikTok content creation is influencing this industry, I can see a lot of people preferring this type of UI, and the general performance from scrubbing to export times is going to be better than most Windows laptops that are almost twice the price of this iPad Air. All in all, very impressed with all the performance you can eke out from this tablet. This iPad Air 4 has a 28.6 watt-hour battery that can charge up to 20 watts through USB-C. Apple only promises around 10 hours of browsing or video playback, but honestly, I feel like it still overachieves. It's been about 2 years since we've had this iPad at home, and the battery life is very, very solid. I did use it as a tablet, not a laptop, so I do use it as a secondary device to my laptop, but even with lots of browsing, video playback, and cloud gaming on this thing, we usually only need to find a charger every 3 to 4 days. And with USB-C for charging, I basically just steal my wife's MacBook Air charger and it works all the same and tops up pretty fast too. So putting everything together, this 2020 iPad Air 4 is sort of like the 2022 iPad lineup crushed into one product in the past. It's essentially the same product as the new iPad Air 5, but the only difference is that it's got a processor of the new base iPad 10th gen. And you get all this for around the same price of the 10th gen iPad. So I personally think this is the iPad to get if you're in the market for one, but I want to know what you guys think, so let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.